Hi everyone, welcome to another CISSP session. In this session, we are going to discuss another important topic which is very important for the CISSP exam. You may see one or two questions related to this topic. Electronic Discovery Reference Model. In this model, we have multiple phases. So this model, EDRM, helps us in legal investigation. So it is standard framework which can be used in legal investigation to manage electronically stored information, right? So the simple you can see simple breakdown of each phase on this image, right? For instance, first phase is information management. So this phase is ongoing process of organizing and storing data, right? It make easier to locate relevant data when needed. Okay. So in second phase, identification phase, it locate potentially relevant uh, electronic data for a legal matter, right? So determine data sources, emails, databases, file shares. The third phase is preservation. Preservation means protect data from being altered or destroyed. Once that data is gathered and preserved, then we need to make sure the data integrity is not compromised, the data is not altered. So in this phase, we make sure. Legal obligation begin once litigation is anticipated, right? The fourth phase is collection. The collection phase, we gather preserved data for further processing. So if we need to process it, so then we gather that data. Must be forensically sound to maintain integrity. Integrity is very important. Once data is gathered, once data is preserved, so we need to make sure its integrity is maintained. Data should not be, should not be altered, right, or modified. Processing. Processing is reduce the volume of duplicate, right? When we processes, we make sure that remove duplicate entries, convert file into usable format, extract metadata, right? Review. Uh, Human legal team check for relevance, privilege, and confidentiality, right? So, uh, and uh, and if let's say data is not labeled, tagged, so it can be done in this particular phase. Categorize document. Analysis. Analysis is further examine content and context, for example, timeline, key actors, patterns. So we need to analyze it in this phase. May feedback into earlier stages if more data is needed, right? So we can analyze data and then we can decide whether we need more data, right? So that can be done in this phase. A production uh, is another phase where we deliver data in appropriate formats to opposing counsel or court. So uh, we uh, we deliver in that format to the court, uh, right? Data is readable form, must comply with legal standards and agreements, right? And then last phase is presentation. Presentation means we present the final evidence in court or legal proceeding, may include summaries, visualization, or timelines. So if we talk about the real-time example, so for instance, the company already has data governance in place. For instance, if we talk about information management, um, The company already has data governance in place, email archives, file shares, and system logs are managed and organized regularly, right? So company has always information management system. They keep their files, they keep their data in archives, file shares, and system, so that companies manage and organize regularly. Identification is the internal legal team identifies key data sources, right? The email, the employee's email, chat logs, USB usage logs, and access to logs to the customer database. So how the data has been sent out, right? So uh, and preservation preservation is as soon as investigation start, the IT security team ensures this data is preserved, the employee account is frozen, and the data is locked to prevent changes, right? So as soon as uh, that is identified, that employee, for instance, employee has shared very sensitive data to the external customer, and employees is not allowed to do that. So, and also we need to find out the sources how that has been done, through email, through using any other medium, USB, external USB stick, whatever it is. So that has been identified. But in preservation thing, as soon as investigation start, then IT security team make sure the data is preserved, the employee account is frozen, or the person who has breached or who has violated his account or her account should be frozen as quickly as possible, immediately, I would say. And the data is locked to prevent changes. Collection, all the preserved data is collected from company server, including email inboxes, OneDrive, files, and endpoint logs from the employee laptop. Processing, the data is processed to remove duplicate. So we should make sure the data which we are finally processing all overlaps over um, the files uh, I mean overlap data is removed, right? Duplicate entries, if there are some duplicate entries in the data, right? So review, a legal and security team reviews the document. They discover that the employee emailed a spreadsheet with sensitive data to personal Gmail address, right? So whatever medium he or she used, right? So analysis, the timeline is analyzed, showing that data employee exported data just before resigning and send multiple files outside company hours. So that needs to be also analyzed. Production, the evidence is compiled and prepared in a clean format, standard format, which can be used in court or report to law enforcement. The final evidence is presented in court using timelines, screenshots, and audit trails showing exactly how and when data was taken. The outcome is the company uses the evidence to press charges against the employees and reports the incident regulatory bodies. They also improve internal controls to prevent future leaks, right? So because outcome is very important, whatever outcome you have, based on that you can learn a lesson and you can place better control in order to avoid this type of issue in future. uh, that's it about this particular topic. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any question, feedback, please share in the feedback section.